Okay. Vita. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from.
I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. He was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, then the covers got pulled off, and then this fight came about. This is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. This is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. Money going out, not enough money coming in.
Man, I told you I'm working, man. Big boss, Cape Po, talk boxing, fucking my soliloquy, man. Tough times don't last, good people do. Don't obviously caught him in the fight like me, man. A peak game in the first one swing. Boy just came from the gym, got my swole on. Hand feeling, a little decent, man. I did pool exercises today, so, dealing with my back, pulling, pushing, worked on my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Just the little things. My hand is getting better, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Boy getting old, man. Hang on with you, man. But let's talk boxing. So, Baldhead Bradley, Timothy Bradley, says that the reason why Gervonta Tank Davis took the Jake Paul fight because he had to. It's an inside job by PBC. I mean, you heard the audio. He says that, they had to. He had to do it, right? It explains everything. PBC got, a lot of money going out, not enough coming in. And, this is something that they needed to do in order for them to basically recoup. Explains why Tank is acting how he's acting, and he says Al Heyman and PBC have no leg to stand on. Top Rank don't have a leg to stand on? Top Rank don't have a network, if I'm not mistaken. So, how's Bradley in position to speak on the PBC? You ever notice that they say PBC has been going broke since they started, right? And it's just crazy how they keep hating on the PBC, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they don't do that with no other promotional company. They don't do that with The Zone. They don't do that with Matchroom. They don't do that with Top Rank. They don't do that with Golden Boy. They don't do that with Turkey. They don't do that with none of that. But PBC is a company they've been saying that's been going broke for the longest time. But yet they still around. And yet they still flourish. It's crazy. Now, we're not finna sit here and put the blame on the PBC. Gervonta Tank Davis had a choice. He chose to get that bag for Jake Paul. He's even openly said, hey, man, I make this decision, right? So at the end of the day, it's Gervonta Tank Davis' decision. He gets the blame for this. We're not going to sit here and put this on Al Heyman and PBC and try to put a smear campaign on them and say, oh, it's not really Tank's fault. It's Al Heyman. It's not them, bro. Right? We're just going to keep it 1,000. Right? PBC has been down this road before. They start off with a new network. They try it out to kind of see, if this the network they want to use. And then once they are able to see that, hey, we made a lot of money doing X, Y, Z, and F. Okay, cool. Now we can roll out dates and we can expand the budget for you, right? That's what it boils down to, right? The game has changed in boxing. A lot of people are going to streaming services, right? But they got to put on big fights, to kind of get the return of interest on these streaming services. They got to figure out the streaming game, right? It's different from the pay-per-view model. Now, PBC still does pay-per-views, right? That's what it boils down to. You look at, the fight that's coming up, the Fundua Thurman, that's a pay-per-view. Tank Lamar Roach was a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's last couple fights were pay-per-views. You know what I mean? So we got to sit here and analyze it. PBC is still doing the pay-per-view model, and it's working for them, right? You know, Netflix has kind of changed the game. You know, them coming in and doing their thing. And who knows? You know what I'm saying? PBC might look to, you know, work on Netflix. I mean, Gervonta Tank Davis is a PBC fighter, and he's fighting on Netflix. So, you know what I mean? And for them to sit there and say PBC don't have a leg to stand on is crazy to me. They keep trying to push this narrative. And it's just like, bro, they still around. Until, like, they be like, hey, man, we ain't got nothing, you know, or we going out of business, they still gonna be around. Y'all forget, Al Heyman is a financial advisor, right? He's been for many years for many different artists, government officials, and everything. Like, he know how to make money. So we not gonna put this on Al Heyman and PBC. It's on Gervonta Tank Davis. He the one who chose to fight Jake Paul and not rematch Lamar Roach. I get it though. I understand. It's more money fighting Jake Paul, right? It's way more revenue fighting than Jake Paul. I'm just saying. That's just real talk. I'm not saying I'm in agreement with it. I'm just saying when you look at and analyze everything when it pertains to that fight, he's gonna make more chicken fighting a Jake Paul, right? And that's gonna set his family up for, you know, financial success, and it's gonna reach a different demographic of fan. Do I agree with the matchup? No, I don't. I think it's bull crap. I think that, you know, Tank should have rematched Lamar Roach. Now, after he rematched Lamar Roach, if he wanted to go into a Jake Paul fight, cool. But you can't come off that performance and immediately go into a Jake Paul fight. That's just my perspective. I'm sorry, right? He can get mad. He can say, hey, F you, or I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to speak the truth in boxing. That's what it is. You know, I got to talk to you how I talk to my kids. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to speak the truth. And when I look at the totality of the circumstances when it pertains to this Gervonta Tank Davis Jake Paul matchup, he's to blame for it. It's not Al Heyman. It's not PBC. It's none of that. Jake Paul convinced Gervonta Tank Davis to come get in the ring with him, right? Because he know how much money that's going to get with these crossover fights. A lot of these people will want to see these crossover fights. You're bringing a casual boxing fan into boxing, all right? And they would love to see this. They would love to see Jake Paul beat Gervonta Tank Davis. That's just what they want to see, right? So we'll see if that happens. But I'm not going to sit here and allow Timothy Bradley to put a smear campaign on Top Rank, especially when you work with Top Rank and Top Rank is going to be working with PBC, right? Y'all already have a fight card that y'all supposed to have together in what's that, October, where Oshaki Foster, who's a top ranked fighter, is fighting Stephen Coolboy Fulton. Y'all gonna have a bunch of cards where y'all working together. So why would you sit there and put a smear campaign on PBC when your boss is gonna be working with Al Heyman, right? Y'all see, Timothy Bradley got to understand, you should be working together. Turkey trying to take y'all out, right? You heard Oscar De La Hoya. He was like, man, Turkey trying to take us out. But me, Al Heyman, and Bob Arum, we not going nowhere. You heard Oscar De La Hoya, right? So why sit here and play these games, right? Why sit here and play these games? It's egregious. You feel me? Like, at the end of the day, bro, we gotta keep it 1,000. Okay? And I gotta be real, right? When you look at, you know, just this business model, right? They should be banding together. Because Turkey Al-Sheikh, right now, I'm not saying he taking over boxing, because I won't go that far, but he's bribing fighters to come fight for him. And he's making the most egregious matches, and he paying, right? That's why a lot of fighters are going over there. They selling their soul because Turkey is paying, right? He paying this egregious amount of money, and these fighters going over there, right? Whereas you got like Top Rank, PBC, and De La Hoya, they like, look, bro, like, it got to make sense for us to pay you that money. Whereas Turkey don't care. He don't care about it making sense. He just want to look good, right? Turkey is that nerd that got money, right? That buys friends. That's what he's doing. He's just buying fighters. He don't know nothing about boxing, don't know nothing about the sport, don't know nothing about matchmaking. He just buying everybody, right? That's what it boils down to. And he got certain people on his team listening to YouTube channels, listening to this, and, you know, anything critical of his, you know, network or whatever he got going, he switches it up, right? That's what it boils down to. When people was complaining about, oh man, his fights are boring, he tried to put all this extra stuff in there, right? Then he tried to break the rules. Hey man, no Tom and Jerry fights. You know what I mean? So, like, bro, like, it is what it's boxing, bro. You'll never hear Al Heyman come out and say, hey, no Tom and Jerry fights. You'll never hear Bob Arum say, no Tom and Jerry fights. You're not gonna hear Oscar De La Hoya say, my friend, I do believe that, you know, no running. You know, like, they not gonna say that, bro. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you fight, that's how you fight. But they're gonna make the best fights. Styles make fights. And they're gonna make fights that make sense. Right? Turkey making fights that don't make sense. With no backstory, no nothing. So, like I said before, Timothy Bradley is a top-rank employee. Top-rank employees should be shutting up, right? Because y'all don't even have a network. PBC got Amazon Prime. Where is Top Rank gonna fight at? Huh? Hello? Stop playing, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's go.